Hey guys, this is Khrissy B, CEO of NinaDeuce.com, and we are here to recap 2018 in hip hop and look into the future, 2019, the Grammys. I want to introduce my squad.
What's up, guys? I'm Abby Rosa, radio personality and also just all around lover of music.
What up, y'all? I'm Halla. 2019, I will be known as Trap Man Halla.
Hey y'all, my name is Camilla. I'm a TV personality and a reality star.
B from the hip hops, hip hop into hip hops.
Hip hop into hip hops. So let's kind of start off at the top of the year. You know, it's been a crazy year. Now it's the whole year just went by so fast. Too fast, right? Too fast. But Grammys kind of opened us up this year. Bruno swept the freaking Grammys.
Of course.
Swept the Grammys. He won overall 10.
10.
Overall 10.
Did he break the record or did he tie? I don't know. How much did Michael?
I don't know, he shut it down. I don't know.
He shut it down.
Or not,
But he's an entertainer. He's like super.
Some of the most
very
prominent, most prominent categories he won, even over, of course, Kendrick Lamar. He went over Kendrick. Are we for that? Against it? Are we giving it to him? To Bruno?
I feel Bruno album was a well put together album. It gave the feeling of like the late 80s, early 90s. You know what I'm saying? Which we be missing.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there was enough for me to be like, okay.
Yeah, Bruno is definitely, he brought back the whole Teddy Riley, the whole, I guess if I'm not sometimes to go jamming, when you can really jam to music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you can really dance.
Yeah, he definitely brought forth like his own genre, like his own spin on things. So even though like K-Dot's album was just a whole cinematic experience in itself, Bruno just really brought to the forefront a different sound that we hadn't heard prior.
Correct. So now the 2019 nomination just dropped, and one of the biggest categories obviously is rap album. We're gonna stick with rap. Nipsey's in that category. I love that he was nominated. So shout out to Nip. Clap it up for Nipsey.
For the culture.
Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy, Mac Miller, Swimming, Nipsey Hussle's of course Victory Lap, Pusha T, Daytona's, and Travis Scott's Astroworld.
Okay.
That's an amazing top 5.
It is.
Yeah.
Look, Abby's about to like scream.
No, listen.
What's gonna happen?
We had this conversation prior, and I didn't appreciate Nipsey's album when we had our last debate speaking about music, and Nipsey's album was so unappreciated in my book that I was like, no, Nipsey's album is like number 7, and Khrissy was like, no, it's number 1, like this and that. So I had to take a step back and listen to it in traffic. Thank God for LA traffic, you get a whole experience of it. And I understand now, and it's so appreciated to hear that Nipsey Hussle was nominated for a Grammy.
I feel like sometimes what we forget as listeners to music, there used to be a formula for an album. You know what I'm saying? Now people just throw like what they feel like singles or club. Like it used to be like an album is a body of work. So I feel like Nipsey Hussle put out one of the best rap bodies of work. You know what I'm saying? Because it had all the components that a good album, not just a rap album, but a good album would have.
Absolute project.
For Push to get a Grammy nomination, that's not your commercial rap. And I love that. Same thing as Nipsey.
Same with Nip,
I love when the underdogs get the nod, and I think that's important.
I hope one of them win. Either or, to be honest.
Will they?
I'm not a Cardi B hater.
Politics. Okay, see, we were just having this conversation too about 5 minutes ago. Cardi B, why she almost has a better chance.
She does have a better chance.
A lot of people feel us go to Cardi. But see, everything be politics. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like but it was a solid album.
And they also might just give Mac just because he's deceased.
Yes.
They might go that way. Just because Mac's deceased, they might give it to him.
But I also feel
this
is no disrespect.
You never know.
I feel like they're gonna give it to
disrespect
Cardi.
to the deceased, but I feel like that's why they nominated. The album was cool, but I feel like that's why they got nominated in the first place. And there's no disrespect. I'm not.
No.
I have to agree.
We just,
I have to agree on that one.
It's just my opinion and my view. It's not disrespect if we just, you know what I'm saying, judging the work.
Right.
Absolutely. Also, these albums always get a lot of love, man, and that's, obviously respect to the dead, but for the people who are currently in it, I think that they deserve the nod, man, while they're here still.
Right. Yeah.
Would you feel like, say if you were Nip or you were Pusha, and Mac won, would you feel some type of way? Would you feel like you got robbed because of the incident, or would you feel like?
I wouldn't feel robbed. And I think because Mac appealed to like every type of genre. He was the backpacker, he was the lyricist, he was
think
the
he would
fun
honestly
guy.
be in the category if he wasn't deceased?
That's the question.
No.
So let's kind of stay on Pusha. The biggest beef, obviously, this year was Pusha and Drake. I mean, that we're still talking about that. But that was a good beef.
Yeah, it was nice.
Between the Duppy and the story of Adidon and how Push went in. There was no, I don't care about your mom, I don't care about your dad, I don't care about your nobody. I'm gonna lay it all out. Your best friend is on his last leg. That's the sport.
It's nothing fair in war. Yeah, but some people feel like certain things just don't. Just like
Don't
you,
apply.
yeah, you know, like how they had gangsters. They like we not touching the women and the children. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
That's
then
exempt.
it's like we spraying
That's
everything.
exempt.
You know what I'm saying? So some people, but I feel like lyrically, anything goes lyrically.
Right.
And that's two people y'all can just respect each other outside of that. Like you know what I'm saying? I feel like. But maybe I wouldn't have said it personally because if a man is sick, I probably wouldn't have said that. But it depends. Like if we lyrically and shock value, you went there and that's it.
So
how you answer
but
it?
what's the
But it's like
difference
being a
between-
comedian. Like when people get so sensitive about what comedians say, like you can't get mad. It's a beef. Like you know what I mean? It's everything. You know that this is something that I can use against you.
Yeah.
That's a battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm gonna use it to the best of my advantage.
Yeah.
You know. So if I know some dirt on you,
It's
guess
going
what?
down.
I'm going to
It's
use
no
it.
different
And
when
it doesn't
hip hop,
matter.
hit him up.
Sorry that it had to be your kid, but
Yeah,
that was
probably.
ammo for me to get what I needed off.
Because,
You know, and it was a good one, AK-47 type style.
Yeah,
Package was sick, you know, he talked about
Yeah.
they sickle cell, and you know what I'm saying?
It's fair.
And, you know,
I mean, I hate to
hard
say it, I know
the
it's
best,
You just have to roll with it and swallow it and say, you know what, that was real, because that Nas and Jay-Z, they went toe to toe and they said a lot of things that was deep, you know. So
When we think about like rap battles and like, and I know one of the questions was this one of the best ones of all time? I can't give it of all time just because Drake laid down.
Definitely.
But I do think that like when I remember being in it, like when you would hear the Locks and BDC were going at it.
Now that was
that's a whole nother, and that's how like, if I see you,
It was.
I'm like, something's gonna
That was
happen.
the problem. So like,
That's
you
like
really
pulling
didn't
up.
believe these guys. If you
Rule
believe
of
these
50.
guys, what's that?
Rule of 50.
Rule and Fit, yes, it was real. So like you felt the sincerity and the authenticity behind it. But I think Push played chess, and I think he checkmated him early.
That's exactly what
And
I
I
was
was
saying.
saying Drake didn't have a response for it.
I think that Meek said it best. He just recently did an interview with Angie Martinez, and he I think number one, the fact that it was even that big to ask artists on like A-list categories and levels is incredible because it really did have an impact on the culture. But number two, I think that Meek was right. Like there is no holding back. Like you don't feel bad for shooting shots when you shot shots back or first. And I really feel like Push did his damn thing. It's almost like you played with the big dogs, you got bit, and now you're gonna go run to your mommy, aka LeBron, and his barbershop, and called you and cry. It's like no, like you don't do that. You just take the L and accept it. You didn't have a great comeback. You didn't have the amount of balls that it took to really come forth with that smash. Like I'm gonna really just kill you on this and push it. Period. There's a that's like
I could have did.
Oh, I could have. Yeah, if they
We didn't see it, when you touched your tail, and no matter, when it
That's
kind of
true.
goes,
That's
and
true.
we was ready for you to come out and say something in a way of like just a good artist, but you wanted to say
He's a lyricist too.
he is, and I know he could do it.
Yeah.
But why didn't you? Because it's politics.
We lost a lot of artists this year. I mean, it just seemed like it was a domino effect. From XXX, he was shot, unfortunately. You have Fredo Santana, epilepsy. Also have Mac Miller, overdose. Lil Peep, supposedly overdose as well. Let's kind of sit with this topic just for a second. Like mental illness and drug addiction, how serious it is, how when you're put on a pedestal like these artists, you're constantly being scrutinized, why they kind of convert to the drugs.
I feel like back then the music was talking about drugs and stuff as well. Excuse me, but I feel like now, more than ever, everybody's talking about pills, Percocets, Molly, the culture. And what I see, you know, because I'm still fairly young, you know, I would like to say, but I am not in the world of where I'm looking at little kids getting out their cars and they look just drugged out, you know, look like they haven't slept in 5 days.
They look our age.
Very much so, you know, they look very old and, you know, and they're trying to keep up with whatever the rappers are rapping about and not knowing that it takes a lot to play like a rock star, you know? You can't play with it like that because you'll end up overdosing, you end up like, you know, dying, and so many people doing it. And suicides, you know, people are killing themselves. I have people that have killed themselves, friends, children, you know, and it's sad because it's like, what do we do? What do we do for our future? What do we do for our kids?
The internet is a real big influence, you know what I'm saying? So let's just say, like, you know, if they're not in the school, the thing that they would be into is what they see. So if they're seeing, like, you know, when they see the lean, the money, the pills, they getting bread, you know, that's the thing to do. Just like back in the day, you know, like early on, you probably carried a backpack, you probably had a joint in your backpack at the most, you know what I'm saying? And that was what was portrayed, but now what's portrayed is just, it's crazy, man.
Most importantly, they should, I think the camps and the people that you keep around you also need to be supportive of making sure they can kind of get out of that. Like what resources and what, you know, programs or what do we have in place that are going to help you kind of get away from the addiction, it's going to get you away from the pills. Because now, you know, my 16-year-old nephew is influenced by, I'm not saying that he's on drugs, but he's listening to music that he's listening to. And who knows, maybe he want to go out and pop a pill with his homies.
I think, too, coming from the era where I grew up in, it was more about the dealers versus the users. And
That's exactly what
it
was the difference.
The dealers were like idolized, like they were the cool ones, which isn't right either. But
you weren't cool if you did.
Right.
Yeah, if you weren't cool, like that was corny. Like nobody wanted to be smoky, right? And I think that when you look at that, I also think too, like from an industry standpoint, I think as a music industry as a whole, to provide like accountants and like classes for like these artists coming up to teach them how to manage their money. I also think it's important to give them some therapy sessions so that they can be aware of how to deal with success, because that's something I think the industry needs to be able to be responsible for, because how many more do we have to lose before we start to really give some attention to this thing? And again, I'm an outsider looking into the industry. I don't have any affiliation, but I think that's important to be able to help these kids out, because these young, successful kids don't know how to deal with that.
And even with,
And that's tough.
I was gonna say, even with the male artists, like for instance, where the little kids are looking at Cardi, for instance. We had Lil' Kim back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't think I was necessarily wanting to be Lil' Kim, but I was rapping her lyrics and, you know, my mom told me not to. But nowadays, if you see these little girls, they wanna be strippers, they are like full
It's a cool
length.
thing to do.
You know, it's serious out here right now. Like,
I think it's super important too to understand that I think we overly bring to light the awareness of mental health. Mental health. Everybody has a mental health issue nowadays, especially with the kids. But it is so important to stress that it is okay to feel sad at times. It's okay to feel heartbreak. It's okay to not run from any of that and really deal with it in a healthy manner. It's okay to cry. It's okay to talk about it. And I feel like that's where it's also getting lost in the sauce, just because it's like you feel sad, you're depressed, you have a mental like illness, or let's go and peel you up. And I just feel like that too also plays a huge part, that we've brought to light so much, where mental health is so important and it's so needed and necessary to talk about topics like this. But it's also important to remind kids, to remind the younger kids, 20, 21, you're about to go through an emotional roller coaster, just period. So allow yourself to feel, and you know, these bad days will turn into good days. You don't need to pop 18 pills and feel like, I'm gonna go kill myself. Like, I just feel like it's so important to remind the kids these days that those feelings that they're feeling, it's okay.
but and touching on that, when you do have those feelings, because a lot of people want to suppress those feelings, speak on it. Tell your friend.
Yes.
You know, go to your friend's mother if you're not comfortable with speaking with your own parent, because it's serious when I've heard people say, oh, you know, they don't have a person to talk to, you know, to get that along, to be able to speak. about what they're going through. And a lot of people don't have friends, sisters or brothers or cousins or whoever to be able to express that. So if you do have a friend and you're feeling it, go and tell somebody. If you feel like you crazy, go and speak to someone. Go and express yourself. And I would like to just say that therapy is not a problem to go to therapy. So if you need it, go and get some help.
And I feel like I was saying, the voices of who could influence it, right? Like how J. Cole did the KLD album. You know what I'm saying? He was just shining a light on what the kids is hearing and what's like, because like say my son's favorite song is Lucid Dream. Like why? That's your favorite song, you know? And even Triple Extension and Suicide. And, you know what I'm saying? So if you got a phone and you getting 200 texts about be somewhere tomorrow, you gonna remember that. But if you getting one text in that 200 saying you gotta be somewhere Thursday, you probably never gonna see that. So J. Cole displaying what's going on. He only one person opposed to like 15 rappers that they gotta hear every day talking about you popping this. And I just feel like we just need like
more,
not better influences, more influences of they could see like other things going on.
Like go talk to somebody. Go talk to somebody if you're not comfortable. Within your own household. Talk to a friend. Talk to a friend's mother. There are definitely organizations like right here in our community. Like Department of Social Services. DPS has so many.
Planned Parenthood
absolutely.
A lot of therapy sessions there.
And these are all free resources. You can walk in literally and seek help. Totally. So another highlight. Offset. Breaking up, like what's up?
At first I was thinking it was like a stunt, but then I heard some little stuff and I was like, oh yeah.
So of course, he's been cheating. Okay?
Oh yeah,
he's been cheating. Allegedly, he's been consistently cheating.
Right.
They all.
I'm here for you, bro.
Like you are what?
I'm not here for cheating. I didn't say it. You said, but as long as you put a lesson in front of that.
I feel like they just were really in this whole Bonnie and Clyde fantasy.
Yeah.
And they really just like jumped on that and was like, Offset, Cardi B, we'll take over the world. And they did. Offset wasn't really like in the forefront as he is now. Like everybody knew the Migos, but Offset wasn't the one that you were looking for or looking to. And then all of a sudden Cardi B just like explodes.
They thought it was gonna be Beyonce and Jay.
They thought they was
see what I'm saying? See how you said Beyonce and Jay, but Jay did what he did too. What's the difference?
It's not the difference. It's the fact that they had how many years they put into it. Look at how long.
So how you know like what they got now can commence to years coming down the line?
I didn't say they couldn't fix what they're going through. All I said they thought that it was just too hot in the moment. Like yes. We hot. We had a baby.
Probably being influenced by other people. It was just too much of this.
It's too fast.
Yeah,
I feel like. Not saying they couldn't be in love. He likes strippers. She likes rappers. I think it was a cute little,
Yes.
I
mean, they're cute together.
Yes.
I mean, they're both about the lifestyle and the paper, and they really meshed well. But
she a go-getter.
I do feel like being
that I can see, but I don't think the fact that she's
stripper mentality in her. Like she steadily shakes her butt on stage every chance she gets, and Offset likes that. That's something that they were able to do together and did it well.
I do feel like with social media though that they built the relationship on other people's opinions. So being posted on the Shade Room every 16 seconds, being on every hot blog that's out there, oh my god, Cardi B and Offset, they're the next Jay-Z and Beyonce, and it just got us on the same ride. Like we're with it, we're rocking. What? They're married? Oh my god,
they're gonna get back together.
I think they're gonna get back together, but I feel like Cardi though, as a woman, and this is somebody who's emotionally tweeted and emotionally Instagram. I think for her to get in social media like that and put all their business, even though it's already out there, I do feel like that's what's gonna make it even more messier, and it just becomes unhealthy at that point, And that's when relationships can't ever come back from. I feel like, and Cardi and Offset, I feel like they're just like
rock stars.
Yeah, they're rock stars.
Living on edge.
Yes, and I just feel like But hearing that they're divorcing, definitely not gonna happen. They're not divorcing. I mean, first and foremost, like Jay-Z and Beyonce can't divorce because business is too much. So if they got money and they got business, like your best bet is just to keep those papers signed, sealed, and like just keep rocking.
I think they're definitely great at a partnership. I think they will be amazing business partners.
Yeah.
But I think right now they're both in like the prime of their, like, you know, their careers are just skyrocketing right now. So I think it would be best if they just work as partners.
Yeah.
And work into loving and knowing each other, because I think they moved too fast when they first got together. And they probably don't know each other the way they want to know each other.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, they'll get back together.
I think they will.
They'll get back together. They'll work it out. They'll figure it out.
I'm just not for Offset 3 days later to hop on Twitter like, I miss Cardi, F y'all, or whatever he said. I'm not for that. Like, because you brought up the threesome, like you gave it up for, you risked it off for 5 seconds snatch.
So let's talk about how Atlanta is just dominating. Haven't stopped dominating. You know, Young Thug, Lil Baby. You know, it took me a minute to try to get into this whole new wave of music, the new sound. But Atlanta is the new sound. That's it. I mean, they're taking over. What do you guys think? Huh?
That been the sound though.
Has it been the sound? No.
Atlanta, okay.
Consistently through?
Atlanta has not let up since Windows to the Wall. If y'all tell
To
me.
the window.
No, I think that's the last time they really
Atlanta, if we go over
I agree, Halla.
if we go over all the Atlanta artists and all the hits that were made, you sprinkle the people that we like in there and certain albums that come out, but the wave has been Atlanta since Windows to the Wall. They have not let up.
And I think Atlanta systemically figured out how to guarantee their region's success by taking one, bringing them up, taking another.
They're not scared. They're very supportive. I love that about them. Like, they do not. They very like.
No threat.
I feel like in LA we have so many great artists, but we don't want to help each other.
But imagine if we did, like, we came together.
Bro, we would
Imagine
be killing the
if
game.
John Kennedy, Nipsey,
Soccer Third,
Vince,
Right,
all
Vince.
these people came together. And even if they wanted to do one joint album, what if they just post each other a little bit more?
For YG to be out, why he should have about 5, 6 people under him. Easy. Atlanta do it all the time. Little baby. Are we really hearing them on the wave though?
I hear Camilla, boom.
Okay, Camilla, but Slim 400 been on rhythm and you ain't really hearing pushing nothing. But we hear Lil Baby, we hear Lil Gunna, we hear Young Thug, we hear, what's the other one? I'm on me, baby. Yeah, what's his name? Lil Yellow Beezy, all of these artists.
That's the wave though.
Okay, well we need to get on the wave.
You
What's
gotta
the
ride the wave.
Ride the
It's the
wave.
sound.
See, LA is so
They dominate.
hot, we feel like, oh, we ain't gonna do that.
No, it's I feel like, and I'm not speaking on like YG, Nib, J-Rock. I'm speaking on a lot of if you think of West Coast music, some people would say it's like outdated.
Listen, a lot of West Coast artists actually, Ty Dolla $ign, YG,
You are naming the mainstream people from the
They're
West
not,
Coast.
but they're not main. The only reason why they're mainstream is because just like the Kendrick, just like the J-Rock, they found that recipe to mainstream their sound. Whether it be because you listen to Kendrick and you feel West, you feel the West in it. You just know it. Like, okay, he's from LA. You know that.
Yeah.
You can close your eyes and be like, yo, this is a West Coast record here.
Right.
Atlanta. See, the difference with Atlanta is that they have this lifestyle where it's like the trap houses, the strippers, Magic City.
Yeah.
We don't have that. We come from a smoke tree, chill the hell out,
Yeah.
vibing, palm trees, vitamin D 24/7. You know? And it's
So that's
like-
what you're gonna hear.
But in Atlanta, the reason why that's so
How do we
mix it in?
How do we make it? How do we expand that?
whatever Kendrick did and J-Rock did and Ty did. Because if you listen to their stuff prior to their like mainstream songs, it's West Coast to the fullest.
Nah,
you
Section 880 was not, no.
Wait, but if
that's
you
not
listen
true.
to Ty's music back from when he first came
It's
out,
the
it's
same.
West Coast. It's so West Coast.
It's Ty is like a play of Nate Dogg meets R. Kelly.
Okay.
He always been ratchet, low key, soul, street.
But
that
that's
shit
like
ain't
with
changed.
But that's like with T-Fly, and T-Fly found that recipe with mainstream when it came to 24 hours. Because prior to that, you listen to everything after, it's still West Coast. It has that hi-hat, it has that mustard sound, that, you know, Bugsy on the beat sound, those West Coast.
Ty's still doing
sounds. But what I'm saying is, when you find like a recipe, like I feel like with Atlanta, they paint a different picture for us, and they bring a slower sound, like it's just a different vibe than West Coast. I feel like because maybe we're used to it and so acclimated to it, for us it's like it's just West Coast music.
20 years though.
For 20 years. We've broken boundaries though. The West has really just shot out new artists left and right, if you really think about it. And not just that, but the Atlanta rappers want to come and vibe with us.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. I can't say that. I just get mad when the fact that we're at an award show and I just see like how they have their hip hop award show out in Atlanta. I just feel like we need to have something like that for our community and our rappers out here, because we take our stuff and go all the way to Atlanta and have these big award shows, and then out here is all these Atlanta rappers. When we the West Coast, we dominate.
LA radio stations are ran from people who aren't from the West Coast.
Exactly.
So they will never understand. They will never understand. And it's a constant fight because it does start with us, yes. But when these huge companies are run by people who are trying to dominate the West, who aren't even from the West, they will never understand the formula that it takes to actually put somebody on from, like, I have literally seen the rise of some of these incredible West Coast artists, and working with Young California and with DJs like Charisma and Amen, who really put on for them. We can only do so much. Again, there's bigger heads that sit in these big chairs who get, $1 million salaries that are like, let's put a other girl on the radio than, our very own Camilla. But then it's like you hear the phone lines blowing up asking for that Camilla record, and you see the phone lines blowing up, you see the Twitter hits, you see the IG posts, the hashtags, play some T-Fly, play some YG, play more so-and-so, why don't you guys play this? And as West Coast bred, as somebody who's West Coast bred here, it's honestly an embarrassment, because it's like we do put on for our West Coast artists, but the ultimate say-so are from people who aren't from the West Coast. Like, and I'm just saying that coming from a radio standpoint. Go ahead.
So from a consumer standpoint, I don't listen to the radio. You know what I mean? Because to your point.
But your industry.
What's that?
Your industry, you're not community. Because if you weren't industry and weren't so hip on what's really going on as far as all the sites that you can access music from, Instagram, this and that, like you're still talking like there is a whole other world out there where all they have is radio.
For sure.
They don't really know, like, hook your phone up,
but it's also, it's like the state versus religion, right? It's one of those things where, are we seeking the mainstream because what is that for? Like, if you don't need the mainstream lever to be pulled to be able to, and I guess it all depends on everyone's individual definition of success. Because I think that, to your point, you have these internet artists who are just through the roof, like you say. You look at their following, you look at their presence, it's insane, right? And to me, that's success. But then, I think back in the day it was more like how many spins am I getting on the radio that defines their success, right? I think that's the case. The parameters have completely changed.
But it is, because that's where I'm seeing things from a standpoint where the A&Rs really are coming in trying to buy us fancy dinners and can you please, not even payola.
But what's added on there
now? Food with the artist. Yo, we're bringing in so-and-so, like we'll bring food. What's up? Like, can we get a meeting with you guys? A&Rs are in the club at the DJ booth every time I hit a spot. Like, yo, play that City Girl, phone out. Let's see how everyone's reacting so we can go back and show. And it really is one of those things where it's like, yes, I understand where you guys are coming from at like, as far as the industry, we're in it. So we are like, that doesn't matter, because we understand the powers that you do have at the tips of your fingers.
So who do you like so what artists do you like up and coming that, you might have heard of, you might not have heard of from LA that you would like to co-sign?
Is it just LA, or can it be like just West Coast?
Give me West Coast.
So like Bay or here, or I mean,
you personally will co-sign like an up and coming artist.
Damn, I think Raven Justice, but he's a singer.
Yeah,
I think he's so great, and I feel like he has a sound that's so good. That's just SOBRB. Like, I feel like they're huge. Like they had everybody just co-sign for these dudes.
I'm gonna say Isaiah J. My boy Blast of Bipolar Artiste, Mickey Monday, Jag, Wifey.
Yes. That was like 4.
Right.
I'm gonna pick it back off of Jag. Jag has been
Mickey Monday has actually been a very hard grinder. Like his music and just his grind, like you can catch him just trying. Yes.
Oh yeah. He been
I don't even feel like problem.
Problem.
Yeah, that's so hard. Crazy.
That was hard too. That was hard too.
Listening to that was like, yo, Mila J, she doesn't get enough love.
Right. Yeah,
Like
she
so many, even Janae, like Janae stuff,
Balance
she don't get it, like she puts on
It gets
for the
swept
mental
under the
health
rug.
type
It
of
gets
bro,
swept
like,
under the rug.
Totally, and I just feel like, I don't know, like Mickey Monday, I do feel like he's very underappreciated here in the West Coast, because you could see him just going places solo, just to try to network, just to try to get it.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, I remember him back in the day.
Camilla too. She slept on.
Kamaya's so slept on. I feel like they're trying to mainstream her and take away her true sound.
But see, they gonna want her to, you know how it go. They gonna want her to get small and all this little stuff. So
I mean, she didn't probably talk about, but she's blowed up.
That's what I hate about her.
I don't think they go want
Man,
that.
they
They probably putting it in her hair though. But I'm gonna have to piggyback off of you with Jag. I respect and still am a big advocate of real lyricism. Jag is bar for bar battle rap. I'm coming for your life. You know what I'm saying? Jag don't play. I'm going for Jag. Dalton Jag. So Jag, J-A-G, Jag is hard. I'm gonna have to go. Of course, I gotta rep the district. The district for sure. G.I. Joe. If y'all don't know who G.I. Joe is, G.I. Joe is, I mean, when it comes to bars, neck and neck with Nipsey. If you like Nipsey, then you're gonna like G.I. Joe. You know, and maybe even a little bit harder. I'm gonna just have to put that out there because G.I. Joe is slept on. And then obviously Reasons from Delano, but he's a newest TDE member. But I mean, Reasons been out here like again somebody that loves real lyricism. I mean, I think we'll hear from him. I mean, he's out. He's on tour with J-Rock, but now I think he's just kind of getting his feet wet. Now he's stepped into it. He dropped that he came out with the label. So I give it another year or two, and then he'll really probably be thrown out there.
I feel like Snow the Product too. I think she's so dope. She is Snow the Product. She goes in, and I think her rhymes. She raps, and she will put her money on the table. Like, I will battle rap you right now. Let's do this right now. And she's from here. Snow the Product.
That's a hard name though.
Yeah, that's a little girl that's like she's been having videos in the projects and stuff, like light skin, looks a little tomboyish, not necessarily.
No, Snow the Product is like some Latina chick. She wears like big, like her name Snow.
That's probably something they need for the band, you know what I mean?
But it's not appreciated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because her look too isn't that whole like sex symbol. Like she's really here to rap. Yes.
But that's dope. That's something
right.
Like.
But see, now you can go and get your streams and get your money like that and not even care about all these people that ain't even looking at you. See, that's the thing about the artistry now is that you can have your own fan base and not even have the people that are, worried about the other rappers because your streams is going to come in and get that bread.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how people are making money now.
Who are you co-signing from LA?
I would say from the West, I mean, he's already signed. He just got signed, Roddy Ricch. I really like him. He's a lyricist. I think he's really dope. I love the fact that he does community outreach. He gives back to the community already, and he's a real one, and he has some people behind him that's going to support. And I think that I want to see him win. I want to see him surprise. I like this Roddy, and I'll say Sabi third too, but he just got signed. Yeah, I don't really know too many unsigned artists. I do feel like Fallon. I'm gonna just throw this out there. She is not a rapper, but she can't do her little thing. Her name Fallon Favors.
What's up, Fallon? Hey, girl.
But she's underrated, underestimated, and she's
ran like real R&B.
But I just want to see the West Coast.
Oh, Camille, she underrated too.
Camille's hard. Shout out to Camille. We got shout out to her. We've been doing this. Yeah. Sure. What about you, Brandyn?
All right. I've been having to think about a West Coast
Mr. West
artist,
Coast,
but no, listen. I found Fallon Favors. I'm gonna go with Fallon. Beloved Fallon. I think she's. Fallon is a truth. She could go. She could blow. She got pipes.
And let's even talk about her boyfriend Tip. Tip is hard too. Inglewood Tip. If y'all don't know Inglewood Tip, get familiar. Inglewood Tip. He's another one.
But also from the East Coast, just while we're here, just because we might as well. I just want to see Fred the Godson. Wait, he's not signed, but I think Fred, love it, man.
Get my jingles up on him.
Fred the Godson, like lyrically, dead nice, man. He gives you like the Biggie feelings of big dude too. So like you feel like you hear the breath in it, like. But he's the most witty, the best bar for bar punchlines I think I've ever heard.
He don't want to be doing like a live on his Instagram.
Yes.
It'd be like
yes.
Live, like when he's doing like the parts.
Man, Fred the Godson. If you're listening, if you're interested in lyricism, check out Fred because I don't think there's anybody who's as clever and as witty as him.
So let me think. Something that impacted me in 2018. I'm a huge concert goer. You know, I mean, concerts make it or break it for me when it comes to artists. And I would have to say, going to see Jay-Z and Beyonce live was huge. First of all, Jigga got up there and did all the Jigga hits. Thank you, Jigga.
My highlight for 2018 would have to be, only because I have a sensitive spot for my daughter, I felt when Drake said he was hiding his kid from the world. Because, you know, with having a kid, being in the industry, or just being out there, you feel like you have to protect your child. And with social media, people come on there and they say the most disrespectful things, and they feel like they have a voice that they can get slapped for. So I think that, you know, me being a parent and being in a situation where I was scrutinized and everything, oh Lord, you know, we do want to protect our children, and it takes a lot to protect our kids, especially when you're in the limelight. So I think for a lot of people, we try to want to give our fans, you know, like, here's a picture, but then you kind of get like in that space where sometimes they say things that you want to slap a person for. So you have that. It's like I'm that person that wants to share, but then also I've been in a place where now I can't share as much as I want to. So I just want to say that, you know, it put into perspective that you just have to protect your children, and that's the most important thing.
My time on 2018, I would say it's just, and only because it's the most recent, so I think it resonates the most. I was literally woken up by text when Meek dropped his album.
Oh yeah,
Cole's verse, like Cole's verse, and I know Paul's gonna he's mad about it, but Cole's verse, I think it was like some of the best
one.
Jay.
So Abby, what about your 2018 highlight?
My 2018 highlight is definitely the rise of Scott Storch. I think I love a good rise and fall story, and I mean, he had an impact on hip hop, period, from East Coast, West Coast, Atlanta.
I like Scott.
And the documentary they put out on him was just epic, and it just made you feel like when he plays those chords of like, dun, 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 like the Dr. Dre, you know, like when he really,
you're feeling it, huh?
Oh my God, you're just like, you're a genius, bro. And like, just to hear how you really can have it all and then have it all gone just by the wrong decisions, it's inspiring to know that you can come back from that. And he did have to sell his beats for free coming back into the industry, and just hearing that, it made me feel like I don't get it.
Right.
Okay, secure this back. So definitely seeing the rise back in Scott's story for sure.
That was good.
Yeah.
Halla, yours is, so what is yours? Jay-Z and Beyonce or?
It's like,
Mine is, I like anything that pushed the culture forward, so I'm gonna say Chris Brown, Drake, Meek, and Game all in patching everything. Meek Mill patching it up with Drake and Chris Brown, and Meek Mill patching it up with the Game. I feel like, you know, that's needed in hip hop because it's always like you versus you.
Let's get these records together.
Right.